Good day, everybody. As I'm sat here thinking about my other job, one of the things that I was having a discussion with someone else the other day is, you know how as adults we dictate what our kids eat. We dictate pretty much everything about our kids' lives, and therefore we have to take some kind of responsibility. We have to take responsibility for their outlook on life. We have to take responsibility for what they put in their mouths and what they deem a rewarding food. We have to take into consideration what we are like in the morning, what we are like in the evening, what kind of sleep and circadian rhythm we portray as a healthy circadian rhythm. Because when your kids are young, they go to bed relatively early and they wake up relatively early. But they wake up by themselves. They don't wake up from an alarm. And they wake up, and what happens when they wake up? They wake up and they are awake. You know, they are 100% awake. And have you ever thought that, you know, how is it that they wake up and they are 100% awake straight away? Have you ever thought that actually, imagine if I could feel like that? Because I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I wake up at between 6 and 6:30 pretty much every day. Not through an alarm, through just that's when I wake up. Because I've somehow found that if I fall asleep around 10:30, then I will wake up between 6 and 6:30 every day without an alarm, and I wake up and I feel good. Yes, my arthritis still hurts a little bit, but that's being modulated by the red light, which is brilliant. But I wake up and I feel good, and one of the best things about that is that when my daughter wakes up at like 6:30, I'm already awake. I'm at the same level of alertness and awakeness, is that even a word, as she is. And therefore it becomes quality time straight away. And I am so grateful for that. And so if you are someone whose kid is getting older and you are starting to push that bedtime, ask yourself, why are you pushing that bedtime? Is it for the health of the child, or is it because the child then doesn't get up as early? Because if it's because you want the kid not to get up as early, could you not alter your timetable, perhaps, and say, I'm going to go to bed slightly earlier and I'm going to wake up maybe the same time as my kid? No, obviously, if your kid is waking up at 4 or 5, I'm not asking you to get up for that. But if your kid wakes up at 6:30 and is awake, is there any real reason you couldn't wake up at 6:30? Is there any real reason that you couldn't go to bed an hour earlier? What is it that you do between 10:30 and whenever you go to bed that is so important, and more important than sleeping? And if we know that sleeping is important for metabolic disease, we know that sleep is important for neurological disease, we know that sleep is important for diabetes, we know that sleep is important for heart disease. In terms of, it is a protective mechanism. Those that have sleep deprived livelihoods, sleep deprived lives, are at a much higher risk of developing serious complications. So that when you think about, am I doing this for my kid? Am I moving my kid's bedtime back so they wake up later, or is it a case of I'm doing it for some other reason? And what am I doing about my own sleep pattern? Am I respecting myself, basically? Am I saying to myself that my sleep isn't important enough? This TV program is more important than my sleep. This TV program and the next TV program and the next night and the next night are all more important, and I'm happy to increase my chances of getting any kind of cardiovascular disease, neurological disease, etc., etc. Because I've always thought that to a certain extent, kids have got it right. They go to bed earlier and they wake up slightly earlier than some people want to. But they tend to go to bed at roughly the same time, my kid does, most nights of the week, roughly. And they get up roughly the same time of day. Now these are young kids. And there is ample evidence to support the beneficial effects on their bodies of a consistent sleep routine and a consistent wake routine. And you know what? It's exactly the same for you. There is ample evidence for a consistent wake routine, a consistent sleep routine, to have absolutely huge benefits to your health, your mental well-being, and to your longevity. And so let's take some inspiration from the young kids and say, okay, they've got it right. And am I saying you go to bed at 7 or you go to bed at 8 or whatever? No. But you could go to bed an hour earlier. And if you start going to bed an hour earlier, you will wake up with more energy. You will wake up feeling better. You will wake up with your mood improved. All these things by just going to bed an hour earlier. Now, is it a fix-all? No, absolutely not. Because you can still be highly stressed. You can still have psychological things that are affecting your sleep. You can still be eating and drinking things far too late, which will affect the quality of your sleep. You can still have the wrong kind of lighting, which again affects the quality of your sleep. I mean, even there are so many things that can affect the quality of your sleep. But if you're giving yourself an extra hour, then you will have a little bit more chance to get some good quality sleep within your normal sleep routine. And you will reap the benefits. So, if you're pushing your kids' bedtime back, just think about why it is you're doing it. And if you're thinking about, are you sleeping enough? Ask yourself, could you go to bed an hour earlier? And just try it for a week. Just try it for a week, see how it feels, and I bet you feel better.